I know it's lunchtime, but still all of you have energy to ask questions, and therefore you can say good afternoon louder. Still louder. The light should shake. I will be different because I normally do not give any prepared speech anywhere I go. It's spontaneous or momentous. So last night during dinner, Professor Harisha, right? Professor Gaurisha asked me whether I can replace Susma ji, which is supposed to come today. I said, okay, so that I can engage with you certain more practical things on the concepts and theories and theories and theories and so on. I was sharing this thought with our director, CMDR also. What is that we are practically going to do and come out for our society? Conducting conferences, writing research papers, writing research again and again, publishing papers. The papers are printed in a book and that stays there. What is that our society getting out of it? In 2010, when I was in IIM Kozikode, we had a professor from NIU, National University of Singapore. One of our faculties asked, "Sir, do you insist your faculties to publish papers?" He laughed. For two things. One is publishing papers. Second thing, insist that too, which is happening today. If you don't publish, you will not become associate professor. If you don't publish, you become a professor. If you don't publish, you cannot be a PhD guide. If you are a PhD guide, you have to publish. No, there are so many things. Insist. But he said, we accept our faculties are doing research only when their research is useful to the society around our university. That is what he said as research. But anyhow, I leave the thoughts to you. Now, regarding this topic, knowledge economy and empowering growth factors. Growth drivers are hundreds, out of which I will take only three: human capital, innovation, and technology and global collaboration. All other 100 growth factors will come into these three larger things. What is human capital? Human capital involves, again, three things: education, knowledge, skills, and experience of workforces. When I talk about education, knowledge, I should definitely quote Finland. Don't say that India doesn't have this. But there is a difference between the education knowledge which you get out of Finland and we get in our own country. In Finland, the education is based on knowledge-based learning and skill development. Knowledge-based learning and skill development comes out of three: critical thinking, creativity, and problem solving. This, they do it from the childhood onwards. When the baby is 6 months old, they say that you put your baby to the school at least for 6 hours a day, 2 days in a week. 6 months baby. They call it as a daycare. More than you, the nannies there who are certified nurses take care of the babies. When your baby, which is 6 months old, is with other similar babies, they say that there is an emotional bonding building up, which you and I cannot see. To give an example of almost 11 to 12 months baby in our own country, our own home, they crawl. Some of the babies, they try to stand up or climb up holding something, isn't it? Now, when the baby during crawling or trying to stand up, if it falls down, What do we do at home? You can speak louder. I will ask questions like this only during my talk. I want interaction so that, you and I will forget the time and forget the hunger also. You and I will do what when the baby fell down? One of you louder. You don't need a mic. Huh? We run, right? We run. Pick it up. Oh, yenagilla, alabeda. But you know what they say in Europe? Leave it. Leave it. When the baby fell down, the baby will find out a way to get up again. Allow the baby to find its own way of getting up. Starts at the age of 11 months to 1 year, which we don't do. On the contrary, what we do in our country, right from putting the kid in the school onwards until the boy or the girl married, we do their job. We only tell, this is the boy you have to marry, this is the girl you have to marry, and this is the way you have to fight each other. That also. We don't let our children to grow with creativity, critical thinking, and problem-solving skills. What do we talk about skill building? These are the skills. And how is our education system? How many of you know cooking? Raise your hands, please. I know all men will raise these days. The women will be thinking, should I raise or not? Because what is going to be the next question? You are worried about what is the next question. What is about cooking? Tell me. ಒಂದು ಸಾರು ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಬೇಕು? One of you can louder tell. Not a problem. If you need a mic, can the mic be given to them? Because it has to be ಒಂದು ಸಾರು ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಬೇಕು? ಗ್ಯಾಸ್ ಬೇಕು. What are the ingredients? Ingredients ಏನು? ಉಪ್ಪು, ಹುಳಿ, ಖಾರ. ಬೆಸ್ಟ್. Who said it? ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಅಡುಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ. ಉಪ್ಪು, ಹುಳಿ, ಖಾರ. ಈ ಮೂರನ್ನು ನೀರಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ನಮಗೆ ಸಾರು ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? This is data science. Do you know it is data science? Today people talk about data science if only it is 1 kilometer length formula. No. ಎಷ್ಟು ಉಪ್ಪು, ಎಷ್ಟು ಖಾರ, ಎಷ್ಟು ಹುಳಿ ಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? The proportion of quantities of these ingredients is data science. The one who excels in this data science will be the best cook. You know what the best cook does? He will create a ಸಾರು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಅಪ್ಪನಿಗೆ ಖಾರ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಬೇಕಿದ್ರೆ ಆ ಒಂದು ಪೋರ್ಷನ್ಗೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಮೆಣಸಿನ ಪುಡಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಹಾಕಿ ಕೊಡೋ. ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ಇಲ್ವಾ? That is data science. That is the education system. How many of us understand this is data science and therefore I make a cooking effort? That is what we are lacking. How many of you know how to make roti, chapati? What is the shape of the roti? Round. Alva? If I ask you the question, why should it be round? What is the answer? Anyone can boldly tell me why the roti should be round? That is your second effort. Second effort, even you will make an Australia map with lakes and rivers inside. Thanks to Ram Prasad sir. There will be holes, there will be cuts in your first roti, but subsequently you learn how to make round roti, isn't it? You know why I ask this question? You only think that you should learn to make a round roti, but you have no answer to my question, why? That is our education system. Learning to make a round roti is our education. That is what you are thinking. Learning to make a round roti is not our education. Why the roti should be round is our education, should be our education. If you ask your question, now Sarka has asked me, I'll go and ask my mom, why the roti should be round? She said, no, my mother was making it round. So I learned it from her how to make it round. Don't ask me such silly questions. Roti andre round agi irutte kane. How many of us really know the roti is made into round shape? Our elders and great grandparents were making it round. ಒಂದು ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟವ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಗ್ಯಾಸ್ ಬೇಡ, ಕೈಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಹೊಡೆದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಕಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಒಳಗೆಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿಸಾಕ್ತಾರೆ, ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಬಲೂನ್ ಥರ ಉಬ್ಬಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ರೊಟ್ಟಿ. ಈಗಲೂ ಹೋಗಿ ಪಂಜಾಬ್ ಕಡೆ, ಈಗಲೂ ಹೋಗಿ ನಾರ್ತ್ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಕಡೆ ಹಂಗೆ ರೊಟ್ಟಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ರೋಲರ್ ಬೇಡ. ಕೆಲವ್ರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ತವಾ ರೌಂಡ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಹಂಗಾಗಿ ಇದು ರೌಂಡು. ಅಲ್ಲ, ಹೋಟ್ಲಿಗೆ ಹೋದರೆ ತವಾ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ರೆಕ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಗ್ಯುಲರ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ದ ಸೀಕ್ರೆಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಸೈನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಫಿಸಿಕ್ಸ್. Heat spreads uniformly all over in a round object than any other geometric shape. So when the heat spreads uniformly all over, roti gets cooked evenly. Square roti ಹಾಕಿ ಬೇಯಿಸಿ, ಕಾರ್ನರ್ಗಳು ಬೆಂದರೆ ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆಂದಿರಲ್ಲ. ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇಯಿಸೋಕೆ ಹೋದರೆ ಕಾರ್ನರ್ಗಳು ಸೀದೋಗಿರ್ತವೆ, ತಿನ್ನೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. So the heat transformation, heat spreads uniformly all over, therefore the roti is round, therefore it consumes less energy. Ram Prasad sir, less energy is an environmental issue. ಇದು ನಮ್ಮ ಗ್ರೇಟ್ ಗ್ರ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿತ್ತು, ಇನ್ನೂ ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. Because our efforts are not towards real learning. We are not learning with creativity. We are not learning with critical thinking. We are not learning with problem solving. F is equal to m into a. ಏನದು? F is equal to m into a. It is Newton's second law, ಅಲ್ವಾ? F is ನಮ್ಮ ನ್ಯೂಟನ್ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಲಾ ಅಂತ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮಿನೇಷನಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಕೇಳಿ ಹುಡುಗರು ಏನು ಬರೀತಾರೆ? F is equal to m into a, where F is equal to force, m is mass, a is acceleration, ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಅದಕ್ಕೊಂದು ಹುಡುಗ ಉತ್ತರವಾಗಿ, ಇಫ್ ಒನ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ ಗಿವ್ಸ್ ಅ ರಿಪ್ಲೈ ಎ ಟ್ರಾಲಿ ಬ್ಯಾಗ್, ಈ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಬರೆಯಲ್ಲ ಅವನು, ಟ್ರಾಲಿ ಬ್ಯಾಗ್ ಅಂತ ಉತ್ತರ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾನೆ. ನೀವು ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀರಾ? ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀರಾ? ಟ್ರಾಲಿ ಬ್ಯಾಗ್ ನೋಡಿದ್ದೀರಲ್ಲ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ, ಈ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಟ್ರಾವೆಲಿಂಗ್ ಟ್ರಾಲಿ ಬ್ಯಾಗೇನೆ, ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಎಲ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಡೀತಾ ಇರ್ತೀರ, ಅಲ್ಪಾಟ್ಗೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತೀವಿ ಹಿಂದೆ ನಾಯಿ ಥರ. ಇಫ್ ಒನ್ ಜೆಂಟಲ್ಮ್ಯಾನ್ ಗೋಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಎ ಟೂರ್ ಫಾರ್ 3 days, women should forgive me. There will be only one pant and 2 shirts, therefore he will walk like this. If he goes for a family tour with his wife and children, the trolley bag will be full and heavy. ಅವಾಗ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ? So what is this? Is it not F is equal to m into a? If the mass is heavy, you need more force to accelerate at a speed, isn't it? Yes or no? This is skill-based education system. ಬರೀ F is equal to m into a ಮಾತ್ರ ನಾನು ಓದಲ್ಲ, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿರುವ ರಹಸ್ಯನೂ ಗೊತ್ತು ನನಗೆ. ಎಷ್ಟು ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು ಒಂದು ಮಾರ್ಸನ್ನು ತಳ್ಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ, ಅದು ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲ. ವೈ ಡು ಐ ಸೇ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ? ವಿ ಕಂಡಕ್ಟ್ ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂಸ್ ಟು ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾಂಡಿಡೇಟ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ MBA in IIMs. I do these kind of questions with several students. There was one student from IIT Kharagpur. IIT Kharagpur, M.Tech, not only B.Tech, B.Tech in mechanical engineering and M.Tech in mechanical engineering, IIT Kharagpur. The question I asked him is, what is a hammer? Suttige. The answer he gave us, sir, I don't know. M.Tech, sir, mechanical engineering, doesn't know what is a hammer. ಯಾಕೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾ? ಇವತ್ತು ಕೂಡ ನಮ್ಮ ಮಕ್ಕಳನ್ನು ಸುತ್ತಿಗೆ ಮುಟ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬಿಡುವುದಿಲ್ಲ ನಾವು. ಅವನು ಸ್ಪ್ಯಾನರ್ ತೊಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ನಾಳೆ ಗೇಟ್ ಹೊಡಿತೀವಿ, ಮುಟ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂದಮೇಲೆ ಸ್ಪ್ಯಾನರನ್ನು, ಅದೇನೋ ಅನ್ಟಚಬಲ್ ಥರ. ವಿ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಲೆಟ್ ದೆಮ್ ವರ್ಕ್ ಆನ್ ಸ್ಪ್ಯಾನರ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ವರ್ಕ್ ಆನ್ ಹ್ಯಾಮರ್ಸ್. Now, this is our current education system. The only thing difference between the Finland or the Europe education system and the Indian education system, we are not lagging behind education. We are giving super degrees including PhDs. But ultimately, roti eke round ide andre gottilla. Okay. Now, this is with respect to education. Second is what I said was the human capital. Education is a part of the human capital. Then innovation. What is innovation? There is two things, two words. Invention and innovation. What is invention? Creating something. ಅದರೊಂದು ಉಪಯೋಗ ಇಲ್ಲವೋ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. Creating something. Let's differentiate. Phone is innovation. Telephone is innovation. Your smartphone is, sir, telephone is invention. Your smartphone is innovation. Innovation is just an idea converted into an innovation, then the innovation converts into product and services useful to the society. Remember, innovation andre ಯಾರಾದರೂ ಒಬ್ಬರಿಗೆ ಯಾವುದಾದ್ರು ಒಂದು ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಉಪಯೋಗ ಇರಬೇಕು. One or the other way, the innovation has to be useful. If it is not useful, immediate use, then it remains invention but not innovation. All of you or most of you have heard that word ID fresh, alva? ID fresh, ಕೇಳಿದ್ದೀರಾ? ID fresh. ಈ ವರ್ಡ್ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದೀರಾ? Anybody? ಯಾರೊಬ್ಬರು ಕೈ ಎತ್ತಿದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಗಾಡಿ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಅಡಿ ಹೊಟ್ಟೆಯಿಂದ ಕೂಗಾಡಿ, ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ಲಿ. ಇಡ್ಲಿ ಅಂಡ್ ದೋಸಾ ಬ್ಯಾಟರ್. ಐ ಫಾರ್ ಇಡ್ಲಿ, ಡಿ ಫಾರ್ ದೋಸಾ ಬ್ಯಾಟರ್. ಅದನ್ನು ಈ ID ಫ್ರೆಶ್ ಅಂತ ಹೆಸರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಒಬ್ಬ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೊರಗೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಇಡ್ಲಿ ದೋಸಾ ಬ್ಯಾಟರ್ invention. Kala ಇದ್ದೇ ಇರ್ತು. But ID fresh is innovation. Why is it innovation? The idea got converted into a product which is what the society wanted. That means the USP, the unique selling point of ID fresh is hygienically manufactured and hygienically packaged. ಆ ಪ್ಯಾಕೇಜಲ್ಲಿ 2 ಜಿಪ್ಲಾಕ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಒಂದು ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಬಿಸಾಕ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಒಂದು ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಸೌಟ್ ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ತಗೊಂಡು ದೋಸೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಹಿಟ್ಟು ಉಳಿದ್ರೆ ಜಿಪ್ ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಫ್ರಿಜ್ಜಲ್ಲಿ ಎಸ್ಬಿಡಿ. ಯು ಡೋಂಟ್ ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಈವನ್ ಪುಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಟು ಅನದರ್ ಕಂಟೈನರ್. ಅಗೈನ್ ರಾಮ್ ಪ್ರಸಾದ್ ಸರ್, ಎನ್ವಿರಾನ್ಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಇಶ್ಯೂ, ಸೇವ್ ದ ಡ್ಯಾಮೇಜ್ ಟು ದಿ ಎನ್ವಿರಾನ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ID fresh, that is an idea, that is an innovation. So ID fresh is an Indian product. He is making huge business in, now he is going to Europe also, but the Gulf countries. He started with peanut of money, his salary, and he is now worth of 2,000 plus crores of money, selling idli dosa better. This fellow was really had a big job with 67 lakhs rupees per annum. He is an IIM graduate, Bangalore product. His name is Mustafa. Just one simple question. How many of you tomorrow, when your son or daughter comes and tells me, Amma, ನಾನು ಇನ್ನು ಮೇಲೆ ಇಡ್ಲಿ ದೋಸೆ ಇಟ್ಟು ಮಾರ್ತೀನಿ, ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? ಹೋಗು ಮಾರಮ್ಮ, ನಾನು ಬರ್ತೀನಿ ಜೊತೆಗೆ. ಇಡ್ಲಿ ದೋಸೆ ಮಾರ್ತಾಳಂತ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಓದು. ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಓದಬೇಕು? See, this is the mentality. This is the education. ನಾವು ಏನಾದರೂ ಮಾಡಿ ಎಂಜಿನಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ಮುಗಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು IIM MBA ತೊಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ನನಗೆ RTO ಆಫೀಸಲ್ಲೇ ಕೆಲಸ ಬೇಕು, ಬೇರೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಬೇಡ. ಈ ಟುಡೇ ಇನ್ ದ ಕಂಟ್ರಿ ಟುಡೇ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಟಾಕಿಂಗ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಜಾಬ್ಸ್ ಬೇಕಾದಷ್ಟಿದೆ. ಹೌ ಮೆನಿ ಆಫ್ ಯು ಡೋಂಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಎ ಪ್ಲಂಬಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್? ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಲ್ಲಿ ರಿಪೇರ್ ಆದರೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ದಿನ ಆಗತ್ತೆ ರಿಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಸೋಕ್ಕೆ? ಹಾಫ್ ಆನ್ ಅವರಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗತ್ತಾ? ಇನ್ನು ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಕಡೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ 6 ತಿಂಗಳು ಪ್ಲಂಬರೇ ಸಿಗಲ್ಲ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತನಕ ನೀವು ನೀರೇ ಕುಡಿಯಲ್ಲ. How many of our institutions had the courage to develop skill development professional courses like plumbing, like electrician, like barber? In 2006, I went to South Korea for an education conference. In that conference, there was an exhibit ಕೂದಲು ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡುವ ಕತ್ರಿ, ಸಿಸರ್ ಟು ಕಟ್ ಯುವರ್ ಹೇರ್. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ 57 ಬ್ಲೇಡ್ ಇತ್ತು. ಒಂದು ಕತ್ರಿ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಎತ್ತು ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ 57 ಬ್ಲೇಡ್ ಅಲಗಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಎ ಹೇರ್ ಕಟ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಷನಲ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್. Other countries are giving such importance for skilled professional courses. But ನಮಗೆ ಇರುವ ಕೋರ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್. ನಾನು ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕೂತಿರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ವೇ. ಅದಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು, ಆಸ್ಕ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್. ಟೀಚ್ ಯುವರ್ ಚಿಲ್ಡ್ರನ್, ಟೀಚ್ ಯುವರ್ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್, ಟೀಚ್ ಯುವರ್ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಟು ಆಸ್ಕ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್. Another idea great into a big product and services. How many of you heard of Padman? Padman had come into a cinema also. Arunachala Muruganandan from Tamil Nadu. He was, I think all of you are adult, right? Anybody under 18 years of age? I will skip this. He was observing his wife and daughter using some unhygienic method of the menstrual issues. He was worried. He was wondering, what is that you are using with that dirty cloth? It was a problem. He understood that, oh, this was a very serious problem. Therefore, he understood. He went around the entire village, nearby villages, the entire Tamil Nadu. He saw that in rural areas, women were making that unhygienic practices. Therefore, an idea came into his mind. It is a social problem. It's not only my problem. It is a social problem. So I should have something to do. Then the idea comes to him. The idea which came to him was to create a machine which will make pads with most economic cost. The machine also he created with the economic in mind. Then he gave these machines to the rural women to make pads for themselves and distribute to themselves. Very cost effective. Now this fellow, who has not gone to even schools, was invited to give a TED talk, was invited to Harvard Business School to give talks, and this is how the small idea of innovation turns into product which actually solved the biggest social problem, not only Tamil Nadu, to the entire country. Now he has been invited to several countries to go and make this product and give it to their women. Lastly, only one small story, because the other concept of digital world and globalization. I'll give another story for this. I will not define. I never define things, but I only talk through examples. How many of you know Starbucks? Starbucks. Yaru gottilva Starbucks? What is Starbucks? Coffee shop. What do they sell? Coffee. Tumba cheap alva? Starbucks was started in the year 1972 by 3 friends in the city Seattle in the state Washington in USA. At that time they were not selling coffee. They were only selling Arabica coffee beans, premium quality coffee beans in a packet, roasted coffee beans. They were selling it. And they were selling machines which will make coffee. But they never sold coffee, Starbucks. Their business was good, satisfied. Bharathe namge tinnakide saak, self-satisfied. In 1982, they wanted to grow their business to other countries also, selling coffee beans and machines. So they hire a sales director by name Howard Schultz. And that guy joins the company, and one of his business tours he go to Italy, in a city called Milan. And he's in the coffee shop where he sold his coffee machine. He spent about 2 to 3 hours talking to business with that owner. Then he saw there were people who came there sipping coffee. They drink only black coffee, which is called as espresso coffee. They were sipping coffee and talking and talking and talking. This fellow saw that is one group of people who came and they spent more than 3.5 hours. More than 5 minutes you gave me, that's more than enough. So they were sipping coffee, and then more than 3.5 hours this group did not go. Then this struck to this man, oh, coffee business is not that drinking coffee. Coffee business is giving an experience. It's giving opportunity to people to come, sit and talk even their family problems. There are people who came, sit and talk, became lovers and got married. There are people who came, sat there, drink coffee, fought and then got divorced. So they thought that this is an experience they are selling but not coffee. So now this fellow goes back and tells the three brothers, Starbucks owners, sir, we can sell coffee also. They said, no. Ishte saaku nanage, idra mele nanage aase illa. I didn't want to lose out. Then this fellow resigns the job and he starts a coffee shop in America. At that time, he priced his coffee as $7. The same thing which is now also the price, same price. Now it is $9 or so. 800 rupees alva Starbucks coffee. Tumba santosha namagella. Going on the coffee, 800 rupees kottu kodubara. 8 rupees ke liye coffee sigutte. 800 rupees ku coffee sigutte. But Starbucks alli ಏನು ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಕಾಫಿ ಬಿಟ್ಟರೆ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ ಜಾಗ ಇದೆ, ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಚೇರ್ ಇದೆ, ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಟೇಬಲ್ ಇದೆ, ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಅಟ್ಮಾಸ್ಫಿಯರ್ ಇದೆ, ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಆಂಬಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಇಂಟರ್ನೆಟ್ ಇದೆ, ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಇದೆ, ಫೋನ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇದೆ. ಕೊನೆಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನು ಎದ್ದು ಹೋಗಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಲ್ಲ. ಆ ಜಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಕೂತಿರುವ 5 ಗಂಟೆಗೆ ಬಾಡಿಗೆನೇ 800 ರೂಪಾಯಿ, ಕಾಫಿ ಫ್ರೀ. So that is the concept of Starbucks. Now started in he started a coffee shop in 82, then he bought that Starbucks company in 1987 paying $3.8 million. And then he improved. What he did was digital transformation. He adapted to the changing technology. He learned everything. What is that today's requirement is that a fellow can take his smartphone and order a coffee, come and sit in my shop. So he changed over the changing technologies, adopted all technologies into coffee business. Started in 1987 with 10 shops in America. Today he is present in more than 70 countries and he has about 37,000 plus outlets. The most important thing for his success was being a global company, he made himself locally available. Think global, but be local. Unless you satisfy your local community, you cannot remain in global. Right? So that is again the learning. Now you see that how these companies grow and they draw their own economy. Everything is involved in proper education with skills, innovation, and adapting to digital transformation. So thank you so much.
Thanks to the speakers. I request Basavaraj Prabhu sir to felicitate the guests while having the lunch. Thank you, sir. For the lunch.